boom, hard in. There's no grace at all. We don't do grace here. That's not how we roll here at Gotham City tonight. As you see, Lexi is back. Lexi, welcome back.
Thanks. Yeah, when Ryan and I were first talking about doing this show, we were talking about what night of the week we could do it. And I told him, I was like, hey, Wednesdays, there's one Wednesday a week that I work. Otherwise, my Wednesdays are free. Well, that work that happens on Wednesdays kicked up like crazy. And then on top of that, being pregnant with a toddler. But we're going to try. And, work is still work, that happens Wednesday nights, and that is what it is. But for the pregnant with a toddler part, just getting that consistent childcare going, especially since I need the breaks anyway, because I'm so tired and we're getting closer to the third trimester. Like, this pregnancy's coming along. So.
To make things clear, it's not my child. Neither one of mine are. Neither one of them are mine. Like, let's just make that clear. All right.
They are both.
Her husband's a very, very nice,
my legal married husband.
Yes, he's amazing.
Who is in the same country that I am in, same state.
Yes. Yeah. For those who don't know, we're also in different countries. We're close, but we're not that close.
Yeah. So just life kicks in, and especially if you got kids, especially youngins and new kids, it's redoing your schedule every week.
It's fun, but it's great having you back. Even though it's kind of funny, you're back this week, you're out next week, but then hopefully back the week after. But you'll have like more stories when you get back.
No, the week after I will still be in Disneyland.
Oh, the week out. How long are you going?
We're going to be there for like 10 days.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Amazing.
We're not coming back.
Hey, also, if there's anyone here from the Los Angeles area in the chat that has spare Boogie
Boogie Bash tickets.
Yes, for Disneyland, please.
If you have
slip into our DMs.
For October, like 3rd or 5th, I think, for the days we were looking for. But really, any of the days were there. There was that stupid day where it was harder to get than Taylor Swift tickets, I swear. And we're still grateful to be in Disneyland, obviously. But like, it's rough being there for like we're going to be there for like 4 Oogie Boogie Bash party nights. And I could not get tickets to any of them. The ticket battle was so painful this year. So
I didn't realize it was such a hot ticket for Oogie Boogie Bash.
Well, and they also just do such a limited number in California. Like at Disney World, they do like 1,000 of them. They do so few in Cali and allow so few spots, and they do like so much cool new stuff every year. So it's hard. I
went to Oogie Boogie Bash in 2017. I think that was the last time I went to one.
Yeah, I went in 2019, I think.
Yeah, and it was fairly easy to grab tickets. I remember getting tickets like a few days before. And then now all these Disney events, doesn't matter if it's Star Wars night, if it's a princess night, if it's 80s night, if it's Pride night.
Pride night.
Right?
Yeah.
Like all those events have now become like hot ticket items. I don't know if it's because of COVID. People are like, just in case this happens again.
Because honestly, in Disneyland, what it is specifically is the majority of their attendees are repeat attendees. They're annual pass holders. They're people who come frequently. Whereas opposed to Disney World, it's mostly like international and first-time visitors. So at Disney World, you don't really have to change anything when it's constantly first-time visitors. For Disneyland, when people live there and go every Saturday, it's a big deal when something different happens. So
they shouldn't be.
They don't have to travel. They already live there. So
yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to buy tickets for special events. That's how I feel.
Yeah, unless I move California there, and then you should get first dibs.
Oh, that's different. That is different.
Yeah. How about former cast members get first dibs?
See, that's different. You've earned your stripes as far as I'm concerned.
Come on.
Right? Let's say a quick hello to the chat, and then we're going to get started because I have a ton of questions for Lexi. This is why I called it Batcave Keeping, some housekeeping, because I talked about a lot of shit, and she wasn't here for it, and I tried to wait, and I couldn't do it, so that's on me. But
don't wait for me. I have a toddler.
Yeah,
we're going at his pace.
That's how we're doing it, folks. Do not wait. Don't wait. She has a toddler. Kayla Silva, Silver K, she's in the house. Smack that like. Yes, please. Stephen Lawrence is here. Derek Hoover. Hopefully your wife heard that, and hopefully she just rolled her eyes. Yesterday's podcast, also Derek Hoover. That is his new podcast. Everyone, please be sure to go check it out. Dorlaxian is here. Thanos Copter, Chad Stewart, Toady Topony, howdy, sir. Monsters from Beyond, Ian J, amazing artist, concept artist. Everyone, be sure to go check out his Instagram as well. Gotham Stalker is here to the Batcave. Yes. Oh, no more Batman 43.
Ryan sent me a message about that.
Yeah, it was like, hey, so guess what? It's kind of funny. Okay, so hang on. Before I keep going to the chat, so I actually kind of rewatched it because I wanted to pinpoint where I caught on that the dude was doing yellowface. And it was me literally going, hey, look, he's trying to be Vince McMahon because he had like the pencil mustache and like slick back hair. And I was like, oh, he looks like Vince McMahon. And there's that moment where I'm like, hey, wait a minute, because we can't really hear it. So we can't hear him doing like this fake racist accent.
The Breakfast at Tiffany's landlord accent.
Right? I can't hear it. So all I see is this white dude in a pinstripe suit. And then all of a sudden it clicks where I'm like, oh my God. It's just like, that is what's happening here. Oh, dear Lord.
They're like, wow, what an aesthetic. And then you're like, oh no.
And I was like, so
no.
I may have watched something racially insensitive on the show today while you were gone. Just a heads up. Matt Bush is here. Thank you for being here, Matt Bush. Shiny Plastic People. Johnny Cock. Everyone go check out Johnny Cock's Instagram as well. He's an amazing artist. Does some beautiful, beautiful work. Toying Around is here. Hello there. Kevin from Toying Around. I will be on Toying Around tomorrow with the rest of the Toy Anxiety crew on his channel, 6 p.m. Pacific time. So they'll be dipping right out of work, right into his stream, and then be leaving his stream to go see the Cybertronic Spree playing live in Vancouver. I bought those tickets in 2020, and guess what? They're finally back in town. So this is great. Justin Nicolosi is here. Flash 739. Toy Art is here. Lucha Johnny. Allison Troy. Retro Toy Princess. And Brian Brink. Geek the F Out. That is Silver K and Lucha Johnny's podcast. Looks like they are double dipping on the shout outs, but I'm okay with that. John Nevin is here. Cougar McGillicuddy. Randall. Shondo Gecko, which is one of my favorite names in the chat. It is amazing. Thank you all for being here and hanging out on this wonderful Wednesday night. So let's get down to it. Lexi, let's get right into Superman before we start getting into our comic pickups.
Okay, wait, there was one comic I want to address, or one comment. If you're being serious. So what is it? The first 4 days that we're there, my in-laws will be with us. So if we could miraculously get 4 tickets, that would be amazing. And that's September 29, 30, and October 1, 2. But then for the October 3rd and 5th parties, it'll just be me and Steven. So we would only need 2 tickets for October 3rd and 5th because Damien is still under 2, so he gets in free.
Yeah, utilize that while you can.
I know. That's why I'm like, this is the last one we'll be down for, because you park tickets, you don't have to pay till they're like 5, I think. But Oogie Boogie Bash, you have to start paying when they're 2.
Oh my! Oh, see, that's okay.
They're not
that's
playing.
A thing. So for all you parents out there, right? That's why now this makes so much more sense to me. Why there's so many goddamn strollers in the park. I'm not sitting here. I'm hating on parents.
It's also Disney.
It is also Disney, but it blew my mind. When I was there in May, and I was like, when you go into Toontown, they have like a garage, like an Acme garage where it's like stroller parking. And I was like, every land section needs that, because once they have that, you're actually like free to kind of enjoy, like even as a Disney adult, I guess. So Betty and I were completely allowed to just like enjoy that area of the park. But what's funny is that when you go to Galaxy's Edge, you go around one building and there's like a football field of strollers, like in the middle of Star Wars land. And you're just like, can you just like, get Get your kids out of here. This is Star Wars. This is a war zone. Get out of here. This isn't fun.
The kids love Star Wars.
It's true. But I mean...
And it's on Disney Plus.
And it is on Disney Plus. Hope everyone is watching and enjoying Ahsoka as much as I am, by the way.
I'm only 2 episodes in. Again, toddler life.
Oh, Lexi, what are we going to do?
We're trying to limit his screen time.
But it's Ahsoka. He needs to be
raised
raised on...
The problem is Steven and I want to watch it together. And then he works nice. Right. And I watch a toddler all day. So
I blame Steven more than I blame Damien. I'll tell you that right now.
Damien got to watch the last half of the 2nd episode today because he woke up from his nap and we weren't about to leave it unfinished. So, yes. And now he's hitting his babysitter with a plastic lightsaber. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Sorry, not sorry. Also, by the way, Lexi is going to come with me to Celebration Japan in 2025, and she will be going as Sabine, whether she likes it or not. And that's not me just...
Is it 2025?
No, 2025.
Good. That gives you even more time.
You got so much time. That's why I keep telling you. I was like, start with little armor pieces now, and then you're good. You are absolutely good. A couple more people hopped in. I just want to quickly say hello to our regulars. Jose Carlos Riviera Jr. Oh, I love that name too. And Jack Knight 73 is here as well. Right? So awesome. Yeah, Jawas would steal them strollers. And they should. Dude,
strollers are so expensive.
Yeah.
They're so expensive.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry.
It's a luxury item.
We're getting like those air tags and stuff. Oh, they are a necessity. Trust me.
Oh,
especially if your kid's a runner like mine is.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, you pick him up. He's like a cartoon, and his feet are still going. Then you can just like lower him and put him on the ground. And as soon as you let go, it's just.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious, actually.
Gosh, he's getting so big so fast too. Okay, we're derailing here. I want to ask you about, because this has been a big show to me. It's been like it came out of nowhere for me, which was the Adventures with Superman. And it is one of the most fun watches I've had. Animated DC in a long time, because everything always seems very serious, very dark. This has a lot of heart and a lot of light and a lot of love. Lexi, have you been watching it?
Yeah, we are all caught up on that one. 100%. We kept up with that one each week because it was a cartoon. It was a little more attractive. Like, we let Damien watch it with us. Right. Because it's the shorter episodes, it's the bright colors, and he loved it too, which was super fun. And again, having something DC where you were like, okay, turn away because Batman's like breaking someone's ankle, where you don't worry about that was really nice. But no, honestly, it made me less excited about the new live action Superman because it was so perfect. I was like, I just don't think I'm going to like the new live action more than I enjoyed this.
Especially Jimmy and Lois, and just even Clark. Yeah. Like, I know Superman and Clark Kent, we all know that they are the same person. Yeah. However, they are still different. And to me, what I loved about this is that Lois didn't have a crush on Superman first.
Yeah, it was Clark first. Right. That was actually something we pointed out. And there were just other things where I feel like, as someone who has loved Superman through the comics for so long, there were so many things they did right. And it was actually really interesting watching it with Steven, because we all know, like, he's a Batman fan. Like, Batman is his, and then Wonder Woman and Superman are mine. And there were things that he would say where he'd be like, oh, like, this feels different. Like, this is like weird to see. I like this. And I'm like, those are things that when he's written right happen in the comics. Like, and it was just little things. Even like every time Superman was in a fight, like, he gets his butt beat in that show. Like, he gets beat bad. And anytime it happened, Steve would be sitting there and he'd be like, it's actually really cool seeing fights where Superman struggles. He's like, I really like seeing Superman like getting beat up and having to come back. I like seeing him, like, even when he's flying in the air, like pushing a spaceship, he's like, you can see the resistance. Like, it's still taking a fight for him to do it. And I was like, yes, like it's like Superman does struggle. Like, he's stronger than, any human or being on Earth, but he's not supposed to be just everything comes easy to him. That's not the point of Superman. The point
Right.
is that these big fights come and he's the only one that can match them, but it's still a fight for him.
Right.
And yeah, so it's just really cool to like see someone. I just feel like it really took the spirit of Superman in the comics and did new original things with them for sure. Like not everything is like comic accurate or whatever, but the spirit was there. Like the spirit was there the whole time and I loved it.
I do like that he tries to de-escalate the fights. You see that a lot.
Yeah.
I know we see that a lot in comics and stuff, but I mean, maybe I guess we just got a little jaded because of the Snyderverse stuff where it is just like angry, everyone kind of yelling at each other and then fists go flying, where this, I felt like it's just I don't know. It's softer in all the right ways.
Well, and seeing him be sad about fighting, like you see that a lot where he gets in these fights and he's really, really sad about it. Like he's kind of depressed about the fact that he came out of this fight where he just won because he's like, I didn't want to do that. And even though I won and I know I had to and I don't regret it, like I'm really upset that I had to do that. And that I think is so cool because I think otherwise you get more into, you know, the like this idea of like this weird Superman god that I think people build up in their heads, like, you know, where he like maybe isn't enjoying the fight, but he's fine with it because he's a warrior. This is his job. And it's like, but he's not. He's a reporter and he's sad about it. And it's really fun to watch.
It is. And I think another great, and I love that you said that too, like with the reporter stuff, because we got this, what I feel is the best modern version of Lois Lane we've ever gotten. And even though she is not at this point where she is that Pulitzer Prize winning reporter,
I love that she isn't.
She's the intern, which again, I can't remember ever seeing a version like that of Lois Lane.
Yeah. I was really surprised.
Actually, so was I, where I was like, oh, they're real. Okay. I'm okay. I'm on board. Let's go.
That's because you can tell, but like now that I'm watching it, it's like, that means you get to watch her and Clark grow together. Like, you know, they threw us way back with a Clark Kent that has so much. I mean, he's not even Superman when this series starts.
Right.
So they just do that and then say, okay, well, then we're just going to do the same thing to Lois. You know, put her at her beginning, give her room to grow. That is so cool. And it's so much respect for her as a character outside of just being a love interest.
But here's the cool thing about that too, is that she is always more than a love interest, but she still is the love interest.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I love it when one blushes about the other for different reasons.
So cute.
Because it warms my heart. And I also love the fact that this is a show for families and kids, but there's still like this weird sexiness there.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, all of like the every shirtless Clark scene.
Every shirtless Clark scene. Or even when Lois like kind of like, she's like, oh, I'll bandage you up, but she takes off her jacket. And it's just like, even I was like, oh, I'm blushing too. I get it, Clark. I get it. Right?
Yes.
Like they do it. And I think that's what's to me, that's part of the special part of the show. And I also like it before they even got a chance to just start making out everywhere, which is something that they started doing near the end of the season. Spoiler alert.
Well, they were getting so. There were a few things towards the end where, again, you kind of turn on your like cartoon superhero filter a little bit. But there were some moments where I was like, okay, in terms of like trying to maintain his secret identity, Lois is getting a little stupid about the fact that she's clearly dating both Superman and Clark publicly. Like, pick one because you're doing both of these on a public scale. So that was a little bit like, girl, you gotta like, one of these has to be a secret.
But I love it. And I love that Jimmy for the longest time too was kind of playing the C-3PO, to go back to Star Wars a little bit, where he would just kind of pop in there at the worst time possible, interrupt them. But I also love this version of Jimmy.
Oh, he's perfect. He's so good.
Yeah, Lexi, go for it. I've given plenty of my thoughts on this Jimmy. I want to hear yours.
I think making him Clark's like best. I think they took him from like the dumb, goofy sidekick of like, he's kind of the butt of every joke type of sidekick, right? You know, to like a legitimate, like strong, capable. He's still goofy.
Oh,
like he's still funny.
too.
He's still silly, like, again, the spirit of those elements are still there, but it's again that acknowledgement of like he can have like kind of a goofier personality and still like do what's right, be there for Superman, be a solid friend, like, you know, have
Even
his
when
own
the other
strengths.
two are not being solid friends.
I know. And
right?
also just the acknowledgement of like, bruh, I've known for years, I'm your roommate. Like, how could you think I wouldn't notice? Please, I'm
Right.
not that stupid.
Right. But
It's so good.
It's so good. I love that. I loved. Do you have any like? I wasn't too keen on all the villain designs. I thought they were a little too far. There was not enough mixture. They were either too much. There wasn't enough of the original version of it, and it was too much anime I've already seen before.
I
with
think
a different color.
The reason for that, though, and I because I kind of felt the same way, but the more the season went on, the more I think that they're doing this because when you like watch it, though, there is such a consistent tie-in through all the original designs. Like all the original designs go together, and I think it's because they're doing this storyline of all the villains using the Kryptonian tech.
Right.
And so I think it makes sense from a story standpoint of like they need an original design because they're doing this original thing with them. Which is still kind of jarring because again, that is different. You know, it's a lot of like, especially when you have Clark who has such a classic look for as modern as little bits and changes are. It's the red underwear, you know, it's the primary blue suit. It's the primary red, the bright yellow. Like it's a very, very old school cartoony classic Clark. So when you get that difference with what are kind of like completely new villain looks, but I think within the story context of like, there is a story explanation for why they look that way. I do get it.
Right. And what did you feel about the twist? Hey, for anyone who, I don't want to get too far into the twists and stuff, because clearly there's some folks in the chat who have not watched
it. People should get to watch it because it is different from the comics. So you, even as a comic fan, you can watch it and be surprised.
Right. Yes.
Not absolutely. By like everything. Because they again, they do really good at laying the hints though, if you're a super comic fan. Because again, my husband loves comics, but he's Batman. He's not a Superman fan. So there were so many things where I was like, oh, I know who that guy is. I know what this is. This is what this plot's going to be. And my husband's looking at me like, how did you? And I'm just like, it's in the comics. But it's like done so subtly and so well. I love it.
I love it. Let's quickly take a quick look at the chat, see what they're saying about this. Ian J is saying Superman is Clark Kent. I didn't think so. That Clark dude has glasses. Nice guess, though. Well, you know, I've tried my
got that little curly Q too, and Clark doesn't have that. So
exactly. A big shout out to Terrence St. John. Thank you for hanging out and watching with us. Jose Carlos Riviera Jr., man, I love Jimmy's characterization. It was really cool, especially where they left it in the end. It was just a great Superman and a world of Superman interpretation. I agree. Terrence St. John, it's good to see Superman struggle. When he dies, it's just a paradox. When he can't be beat, there's usually a few stakes. I agree.
Yeah.
It's what's great about it too. You don't need to necessarily rely on kryptonite and magic.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's not just, surprise, it's kryptonite again. It's like, no, this thing is just really strong and he hasn't mastered his powers yet. And he's got a black eye now and it hurts and he's sad. Like, right? It's really good. Again, with telling a Superman story, they just did such a good job of giving him room to grow, of giving his villains room to grow, of giving him like room to get stronger and to follow. Oh, just love it. Just love it.
Yeah. And Terrence continues here, like no one likes empty soups. I agree. Yeah, I think he's occasionally disappointed with humanity and even the humanity within himself. Sure. Well, I think we all get that way.
Yeah.
Terrence also saying the weird sexiness is the best sexiness. Absolutely. Lucha Johnny, I finished the first season. It was a really interesting take and modernization of Superman mythos. I agree. Because again, there's characters that get introduced in this we have not talked about. Because we are going to leave it up to you to watch some of it. And Lucha Johnny continues, their powers and abilities are all coming from the same source. So there's some homogenization to the designs, but it makes sense. Chad Stewart hasn't seen one episode. Dude, come on.
Highly recommend it.
Yes, highly recommended here. Derek Hoover. I have been meaning to dive into the show. Looking forward to doing so. The animation looks great. It It
So
is. It
fun.
is. It's really well done. Uh, Geek the F out. I need to finish watching it. Started a while ago when it first came out.
And the
It
first
gets
season is
better.
done. Like it's a finished season now, so you
Yep.
can binge it all the way through.
And they have a really nice season finale episode too, which is really, really
Oh, they
cute and it's fun.
do. Yeah.
So be sure to check that out. Chad Stewart, I want to see a rematch between Superman and Captain Marvel. I'm going to assume you mean Shazam and not my friends over at Marvel Legends, the Captain Marvel, Brie Larson. Although I would, though, if they ever do Marvel versus DC 2 ever again in my life, I would totally watch that. We're going to go.
I'm trying to figure out how to like reply directly, like, but I don't think I can do it on YouTube. So I just like,
so you're just throwing it on there, just
don't
letting
mind
them
me.
know.
Don't mind
Yeah. Dorlaxian, Shazam almost always wins against Soups because of magic. Watch Kingdom, like everyone should be reading Kingdom Come as well. It is so good. Derek Hoover. Oh, so we could just binge out. Then I think after Gotham City tonight, I'll work on some notes. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's bingeable now. Super easy to binge too, because again, kind of designed for a younger audience in a good way. Because it's not just like, oh, this feels like for kids when it was meant for adults. It's like specifically designed in a way where kids like should be able to enjoy it, and then adults also can.
Yeah, I find it an easy watch. Like What We Do in the Shadows is an easy watch. It's just entertaining. So it's easy. It's easy to watch, right? Chad Stewart. Yeah, I meant Shazam. I knew you meant Shazam. I was just being facetious. I want to get into the next thing. We just had Batman Day on the weekend. I was promoting it for a couple weeks here on this show. I was shilling for free for over at DC Comics Publishing. I did pick this up. This was one of their free books, which is the prelude to the Gotham War. Lexi, did you pick up anything at all during? Or guess what? Hang on, I picked up something else here too. They had. I can't find the other one. The other one fell. So they also had masks.
That's awesome. No, we have, with few exception, almost exclusively gone to getting all of our comics digitally. Just because otherwise, no matter what we do, the kid gets them eventually. I've already rescued this bookshelf 10,000 times. Like I'm definitely planning on they're releasing a new Super Sons omnibus, which I want to get like a physical copy of and stuff like that. But we're very digital for our comics now.
Oh, that's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Before I go through my pile, I want to know because we were kind of talking about this before we started the show. You have been reading more than you've been watching.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So let's talk about recommendations. What are you reading right now that you think everyone should be reading?
Yeah, I mean, they're only both one issue in, so it's hard to like fully recommend like this is going to be great for sure, or, stamp of approval. But I'm really, really excited for Batman and Robin, and then the new Wonder Woman runs. And if you guys don't know, these are issues number 1: Batman and Robin number 1, Wonder Woman number 1. These are Dawn of DC. It's the reboot. So if you're like, oh my God, I fell off the bandwagon because I got busy with work, this, that, the other, I just haven't read for so long, so I've been watching the movies, whatever it may be, now is a great time to kick back up with the comics. Or if you're like me, you just got kind of bored with, even though it wasn't New 52 anymore, it was pretty much still New 52. And every character choice they've ever made for the characters you loved. Yeah. So I already am super hype about the vibes and the characterization for Batman and Robin 1 and Wonder Woman 1, to talk about one at a time for Batman and Robin. I mean, it does tie into Gotham War, which I will be totally open about. You guys know I always am. I have not read it, like sat down and really gave Gotham War my full attention. I've tried, and I had feelings, and so I stopped.
Yeah.
I feel bad giving something a full critique without having really read it from cover to cover. So I'm going to be a little careful with how much I nag on it.
We've been here before. We've been down this road many times before on this show, right? Like it happens. And that's okay.
Yeah, it just, I think that because it's a Batman story, I know it's like it has everyone in it, but we all know that if Batman's in the story, it's a Batman story,
Right.
and I just think everyone else is mad at Bruce, and because it's Batman's story, they're gonna have to like do some weird twists where somehow everyone else was wrong and he's right and he's the hero, but like everyone else is right and Bruce did. Do I get my one F-bomb still, or are we not doing any F-bombs?
Oh no, we can absolutely fucking
Bruce
swear on this show.
fucked up.
Yeah.
He did fuck up, like fail safe, all of that shit. Like they should be mad at him. Like
Right.
that was a really big deal. So it's hard for me to get into Gotham more because I have this preconceived notion they're gonna try and make Bruce come out of this still looking like the good guy. When I'm sorry, but if Cass is against you, Bruce, you did wrong.
And you effed up.
You effed up, dude. That's my hesitation with Gotham War.
We will get into the audience having a question, but I do want to bring up Allison's
Diana.
question. Yeah,
it is Diana Wonder Woman. It is not Lizzie Trinity Wonder Woman.
There it is. Mm-hmm. Right. I picked it up as well today. Yeah. I haven't read it yet. Work's been busy, but I did want to say, hey, I picked it up. Plus, it is my favorite writer at the moment. It is Tom King. Tom King does no wrong for me. I know he can be very divisive. Yeah. With some readers, but not for me. He's my boy.
So I have read it. I read it, and I am one of those readers where Tom King can do right or wrong for me.
Right.
So even sometimes you have these authors who are fantastic, but you give them a female-led comic and suddenly they just can't.
Right.
It happens.
Yeah.
So I was hesitant, but very excited because I feel like Wonder Woman has been through a lot since New 52 in terms of her story, her characterization, her everything. And even as they tried to do Rebirth and these other things, she just never quite recovered from what New 52 did to her. They just leaned so hard, I feel like, into warrior Wonder Woman. In so many ways. And one of the first things you see in this issue is you actually don't see Wonder Woman until the end of the issue. It's everyone else. It's people talking about her. It's people talking about what the situation is. It's people addressing her. And one of the first things you see in this to really set the tone for who this Diana is you see another Amazon going back to Queen Nubia and with Diana's sword saying, she gave this to me to bring back. She doesn't want it. She said she doesn't want the temptation for what is to come. She gives up her sword. No more sword, Wonder Woman.
Nice.
And I feel like that is just like Tom King said, this is my Wonder Woman. They address her as an ambassador constantly when they're talking about her already in the first few pages of this world. They kind of separate her from the Justice League. They talk about there's the heroes and the Justice League, and then there's Wonder Woman, the ambassador. Like they really kind of like set her role as separate from kind of how everyone else are like these vigilantes and these heroes, but she's an actual national ambassador. And so they really set these things up from the beginning that are, and I mean, Rebirth did a lot to kind of try and bring a lot of that warmth back to Wonder Woman, but you can just tell that Tom King was really setting the bar in this first issue and saying, this is my Wonder Woman. She is an ambassador. She wants peace. She's gonna fight. Like we still see her, like again, her brief window there, we see her fight, but it's not with the sword and she does not kill. So it's cool.
I love it. I'm
really excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to just dive into it and read it as well. I picked up the first issue just so I can get a taste of it. After this, I'll be doing the old trade waiting routine. And I think the trades for Superman have to be out fairly soon. Those new, I guess they wouldn't be Dawn of DC, but they are those new Superman family
Yeah.
The Steel books, all that. I really want to get into those. I'm really excited. I did pick up something you did not pick up that I want to give a shout out to. Raphael, I think it's Grompe. Toy art, I'm pretty sure Allison will probably correct me in the chat. Maybe Randall will as well. I picked up Gargoyle of Gotham. It is one of those Black Label books. So you pay extra for the very shiny cover. Oh, by the way, Wonder Woman as well had a variant cover that was like super shiny and chrome, and it was like $3 more. And I was like, no, because I'm buying the trade anyways. But I was like, what is happening? Come on. But I do love a good gimmick cover. I will absolutely agree. No, Allison, it does not have Bruce's wiener in this. I think they learned their lesson from that the first time. But I mean, let's see if we can get a good look at this Batman suit. It's so cool. Very Pattinson. But I love this guy's artwork. I love his work so much. So I'm very, very excited to get in on it and read it. I've been flipping through it during my work all day. So I'm excited to get into this as well. And so those were kind of my big pickups. I did pick up the Prelude as well on Batman Day of all days.
And I just wanted to address, since you're pulling up Gotham War really quick, Randall is saying that, Gotham War really has nothing to do with fail-safe and how it's about Catwoman and her whole new pitch control time. But I think that's what kind of bothers me about Gotham War is that they are trying to pretend it's not about fail-safe. And I think that's my issue, is that they're not really, like, his psyche is messed up after Night Terrors, Dark Crisis, fail-safe, and all these things. And I feel like the writing is kind of trying to pretend that, oh, Catwoman is just crazy and came out of nowhere with this super radical idea that maybe Batman isn't doing everything he possibly could and things could be better. She's insane. Don't look at failsafe. Look away.
Look away.
See,
I thought it was this guy.
And I think that's exactly my issue, actually.
Yeah, I was like, well, I thought the issue was because I was like, oh, Professor Pig's here.
Also him. I respect him as a character. He's not a character where I'm like, he's offensive, he doesn't need to exist. It's like, he's good at what he is. What he is just not my flavor.
That's totally fine. But man, this art too. Come on, so good. So good.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is just a little.
Also, if Catwoman were so crazy and insane and radical, why would every single member of the Bat family be on her side? Like literally all of them. Okay, I'm fine.
No, I'm just going to, when the trades come out, I'm going to read through it and go. Lexi was right. Right?
I will also give it a chance. I will. Like I said, I'm a believer that you have to consume something to criticize it. Like I'm not going to sit here and fully knock a movie I haven't watched. I'm not going to knock a comment I haven't read unless there's something just like, wildly offensive in it that exists. And I don't need to know the nuance of like your art style to know you did something crazy racist,
right. Right.
With the exception of something huge like that. But this is my impression of Gotham War from what I have seen so far. And I'm just, sometimes Bruce deserves to be wrong. Sometimes you can't follow up every story where Bruce was wrong with a whole story about him bending over backwards to prove that maybe he's still great. Sometimes he just needs to suck.
I agree. Here was my non-DC pickup. I picked up X-Men Annual because I did drop off because of just work, and I lost track of where I was, and I needed a refresh. But anyways, yes, if we want something more fun to talk about, as far as outside of Gotham War and everybody fighting, but everyone being friends, having a good time, I have been reading World's Finest. Now, World's Finest Volume 2 came out today, and for whatever reason at the comic shop, I could not find it. I was like, where is it? I need it. But I love this. And I don't know if I did get it signed by Mark Waid when I was at Washington SummerCon.
Oh, World's Finest is so fun. It's
It's
fantastic. It's the best of both of them too. Like it's a lot of times I think when people write Superman and Batman together, you can tell which one they prefer because everyone like has a preference,
yes.
right? World's Finest does a really good job, I think, of it being really like a good team story.
I think that's the Mark Waid effect
Mhm.
because he just again he understands these characters so well
Yeah.
because he's been writing some of the best biggest stories in comic history going all the way back to like Kingdom Come, right? Just to
Yeah.
circle back to Kingdom Come,
Oh,
he wrote that as well. Like, and
yeah.
he writes to me personally, not speaking for everybody, myself personally, I feel he writes the best Captain America.
Mm.
Uh, though I do love Ed Broadbaker's run with Bucky Cap, but that's not Steve, that's Bucky. Uh, but I do love that series. But man, when you've got a Steve Rogers, Mark Waid nails it. I feel like Mark Waid just nails these
Yeah.
sunnier characters. Is that the best way to
Yeah.
put
Well,
it?
I mean, because that's actually, oh my gosh, you hit the nail on the head. Like I was gonna say, one of the things that honestly surprised me with Mark Wade's writing in this, and this is again, like I always acknowledge my preconceived notions. I feel like when you have someone that has written these characters for so long and written them in such, I mean, Kingdom Come, it's pretty heavy in some ways. It's not like gruesome heavy in the way that like it's violent or like particularly awful or anything, but it's a very serious, kind of story despite how beautifully like water. Oh, I just love Kingdom Come. Personal favorite, like honestly. But
Yeah.
he really has a way of making World's Finest still truly lighthearted and not to the full extent that like My Adventures with Superman goes. Like it doesn't get like goofy silly. Like it still feels a little more like a mature comic you wouldn't necessarily hand to your kid. But he
Right.
he keeps a real like fun to it, like in the way you kind of want from like an almost an older like classic. Like if you're going back and reading like old school Batman and Supes, like I think it's fun. World's Finest is really just one of the best out there right now. It
It's
is.
it's definitely refreshing to read because I feel like
Yeah.
just
And
like
it's disconnected from everything else. Nothing else
I
going
think
on anywhere else can touch what he is working on, which is so
right.
nice.
We don't have to worry about is it tying into this, is it tying into that. I think that's again, this is a different Batman than the one we got with the Tom King run. It's different than the Scott
Mhm.
Snyder one. This is like, but it still feels like a Batman we recognize, a Batman that we know, a Batman that we love.
He's
And
still
I
got a little
always
bit of the
think,
grump to him, but it's almost like the
oh
funny,
yeah,
like play, like the I'm grumpy, but we're all kind of laughing about. I don't know. It's just so good. I
that's a good way
can't.
to put it. It is.
Yeah.
It does
Like
feel
instead of
like that.
mean, he's grumpy. And that's different. Like vicious, aggressive Batman versus just like grumpy Batman.
It's yeah. No,
It's fun.
I'm loving that. So again, that is my World's Finest is my recommended reading. I
Yeah.
love that one a lot.
Yeah. Highly
One
recommend that.
one quick thing I do want to recommend is subscribing to this channel. If you are liking what you see and and you're enjoying the conversation and enjoy being in the chat and being part of this conversation, uh, I want to recommend everyone to subscribe. And again, I'm working on a whole membership thing because I don't know what I'm doing and I need help, but everybody's busy. But I get that. But when we start getting our memberships ready, I have my first members only prize lined up for when we do a draw as a thank you for being just a member of the channel. And again, they're going to start low. I'm going to do it just like we do on my other channel, Toy Anxiety. We'll have the memberships for $1. And then you get you'll have your special emojis. And I also want to do the occasional like members only stream where I can just do ask me anythings and we can do watch alongs and all that other kind of fun stuff that because we haven't like again we'll make sure they're not like 1943 watch alongs, but we'll do watch alongs. I do, and it's kind of funny because I was like I'd love to do like Super Friends, but you know what? That could probably end up being racist somewhere along the line as well, because I do believe they have a character named Apache Chief. So with that said, my first members only prize I want to do is an exclusive to crew only from across the Spider-Verse. This is a sketchbook replica of Miles Morales' sketchbook. Now, the thing is, why I was able to get them is for the crew only, there's actually like a picture of Gwen on the first page. Not this one. They were like, Ryan, get rid of these sketchbooks. And I was like, you got it. But you get the really cool cover that you could only get these Miles Morales style sketchbook covers if you worked on the show. And that was the only way to get it. And so we had a few that were just left over. And of course, I didn't want to be selfish and be like, take the whole box. So I just grabbed 2. So one will be for Toy Anxiety. One will be for Gotham City Tonight. So just a heads up for when that happens, you'll be put into a draw to get this. If you decide you want to become a channel member. And again, we'll start it low. We'll start it low. We'll keep it low because we understand that there's a lot of other channels out there that everybody else wants to just help out and, donate to where you can. We want to make it affordable because I also realize, I'm pretty sure Lexi does too. Life ain't cheap right now. Everything's expensive all of a sudden, and it feels like it kind of happened overnight, and it's absolutely bonkers. But I still want people to be able to get these exclusive fun things as well. So just to make sure that I just want everyone to know, right? As Kayla Silver says, you need this if you are.
And speaking of the movie you worked on, can I just say, there was one ad specifically for buying the movie once it was available for purchase and out of theaters that had me rolling on Instagram that came across my feed. And it was literally just a picture of like Miguel O'Hara. And the caption was just, take him home, ... And the rest of our characters when you buy the movie. And I was just like, I was like, you know what you did. And it was, of course, him with like his fangs and like this and the shoulders. And I was like, you know what you did.
Yeah.
You know what you did. The only way they could have been more obvious if it was just a butt shot of Miguel.
Right? It's so good, though. They know what they're doing. It
was so good. I was like, correct. This person
Chelsea,
for this post alone.
Chelsea, who was one of our animators on Across the Spider-Verse, she did a lot of those like Miguel scenes. So she knew. She was already like before the movie was even out, she was like, I'm gonna take advantage of this model. And make sure there's some spider cake throughout the movie.
Listen, I watching the first Spider-Verse movie, it was like, oh my gosh, Miles, my baby, I love him. That's my favorite character. I'm all about him. Mm-hmm. And then watching the second one, I was like, Miguel, hi. What? Hi. What are you doing here? Hey.
I was taught, like, I'm in another chat, and John Yerkeba, who's going to be watching. He's a part of the replay crew recently, but he has been watching because he's been like mentioning things like, hey, I heard you say this. And I had a hot take in the chat today where I said, I wish Marvel Comics would just kill Peter Parker and make Miles Morales the Spider-Man, and we don't have to worry about any of this BS bad writing anymore.
I mean, I would rather they kill him than keep him divorced and all this miserable stuff from Mary Jane. But
my God, the worst, right?
Yeah.
Country Boy 9. First off, thank you for being here and hanging out. I will say I enjoy the 2-person conversation here today. Not that Dole isn't charming enough on his own. That didn't trust me, dude. I agree, because he is. But today is particularly a good watch. Well, thank you, because
I appreciate that.
You know what? I'll probably when Lexi's gone, I'm gonna have Alex back on from Mondo. I think for the next couple of weeks, just to kind of talk about his comics and that kind of stuff. Plus, I want Lexi to meet Alex because we could have Alex and Lexi. And then Dole. I would be that. I'm like Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo, Dole. It'll end up like that, but that's fine because he's also such a nice guy. He also reads a lot of comics. I feel these two would get along so well, which brings me to my next segue, because as we know, he is a sculptor for Mondo Collectibles. And for pre-order yesterday, this just came up from Mondo. So he is one of the sculptors on this beautiful, beautiful figure. I just want to bring this one up as part of our news. Because Batman Mask of the Phantasm, an anniversary edition, just came out for sale on Blu-ray, 4K. I think not just like a couple weeks ago, not too long ago. This does ship to multiple countries. If you are Canadian, believe it or not, Mondo has free shipping to Canada, and there's payment plans because, yes, this is a whopping $200 10 toy, which is like this big, and it's beautiful. But if you don't know what it comes with, here we go. It actually has the interchangeable
the Andrea torso?
Yes. Right?
Stop.
Smoke effects.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. No.
Spoiler alert. Big spoiler alert. This is to me, I told myself I wasn't going to get into these. We've had Alex and Attack Peter from Mondo on here before. I want to get them on again. But I don't want to take too much away because they're also going to be on Toying Around next week, Thursday, after myself and the Toy Anxiety crew are on this week. So the following week look, I'm just promoting everybody's channels as I do. So then the following week, they'll be on Toying Around. So be sure to tune into that because they'll probably talk more about this. Plus, I think Attack Peter's on Toy Anxiety next week. Anyways, that's not here nor there. Those guys are busy as well. And Attack Peter has his own show that's on before this channel. And he ends right before we start because now we're all kind of linked up. There's synergy happening. And it's wild. But again, this toy...
I know. I've already tried to ask Ryan if we can move to a different day of the week. And this is literally the only day that works for him. And he's more consistent than I am. So
yeah.
You tried.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And but again, I want to give a shout out to this toy photography. Absolutely beautiful. I think someone even at one point today sent me a message, and now I can't remember because I haven't had a chance to check my DMs today, but somebody did send me a who the photographer is, and I'll be sure to make sure there's a shout out to that person next week. But again, this is absolutely stunning. We all know Mondo does beautiful work. They do next level stuff. Right?
It looks so cartoony in the best way.
In the best way. Like, I mean, look at that Joker, right? Like, it's just, again, I don't think Joker is up for sale anymore. I think he might be sold out. We can actually check. We can actually check on this site if he is sold out. But let's take a look. Oh, I did order this Wolverine, by the way. I did order that. I had to. Let's see. What do we... Well, you can still get Batman if you need Batman, folks. Again, they do payment plans. Harley Quinn is also still on pre-order. Oh, and Joker. So you can get that Joker. So if you need that entire crew, they are here. I don't know if have you ever paid attention? Yeah, I know you're not a collector of toys per se.
No.
Right? So is this your first time seeing this stuff?
Yeah, actually it is.
What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think they're super cool. I think they look like style-wise, right? I mean, you look at them and you're like, I know exactly what animation style that's from. Right. I like how they've got like so many different options. Like I like that there with the necklace and the kitty.
Right?
Big Selena fan. Also just a fan of cats in general. But yeah, no, my style for collectibles just tends to be, you can't really see it, but more of the like really like figurine looking ones, or like the really elaborate like Barbie and Disney designer dolls.
Ooh.
My next purchase might be the new Princess Jasmine Radiance that is coming out.
That is so. Did I send that to you? Who did I send that to? I don't know. I saw Mattel Creations or someone posted it, and I was like, man, they're making these dolls hot now. I don't know what's going on.
I know, because I've got the Polka John Smith couple set. I've got the Moana designer doll, and I have just a normal Raya one because they don't have any special ones out for her yet. But I don't have, because the only Jasmine that I really, really loved was the Jasmine from the couple set, and I wasn't able to get it, and they're so expensive now. So I might grab the Jasmine Radiance while I can.
I love that.
Because I do love that one. And then this is our You can't see them, but I've got my Wonder Woman. I've got some My Hero. We've got some Disney, and Steven's got his Batman. But yeah, I want a good Starfire and a good Nightwing. But the ones that I want are no longer in production. So.
Oh no!
And same with the Super Sons one I wanted. But
the one from DC
I'm very
Direct?
picky.
The 2-pack?
No, I don't think any of them were DC Direct. I had them saved somewhere, and then I had to just delete the tabs on my computer because I kept looking at them and being sad.
Oh no. Okay.
Someday.
But again, this figure too. So cute. And let's see. I just want to go through these. And just for anyone who hasn't seen these yet before. Right? Great Joker set. There is a Mr. Freeze. I'm not going to bring it up because it just makes me sad. Jamil has a question for Lexi. Lexi, have you seen the
Darkness? I have. That's the new for the Disney 100 one, right?
The Maleficent,
all of the Disney 100 dolls they've been releasing have been real gorgeous. I'm excited to see who else they do for Radiance because they've already done, I think Belle was the first one they did, and then they did Jasmine, and then Aurora, I want to say, is next. So I'm seeing who else comes through. But yeah, the Darkness Descends Maleficent is fire. Is good.
Okay. Because now you got me thinking about Disney, which has me always thinking about California. So while you're down there, are you going to go check out the Warner Brothers studio tour?
I don't know if we're going to have a chance to.
You're there.
Got
for
a lot of park days. I know.
See, you have the same problem I do.
My husband was the one who had a vision about this trip. I was fine going down for a weekend and coming back. So to be fair, I do a lot of traveling. He has not gone on a vacation in literal years. It just has never worked out for him to go with me to the things I've gone to. It's either been me or me and the kid by ourselves. This is his I have so much vacation time saved up. I haven't been anywhere in forever. I'm going to live out my vacation dream. So this is his vacation, and then Damien and I are along for the ride.
That is totally fair, and good on you, by the way, for doing that.
I mean, yeah, I'll spend 10 days down in Anaheim. It's fine by me.
Yeah, whatever, right? No, that's cool. If you guys do end up going, though, I'm curious to what you think.
Yeah.
I think they have, right now, their big costume display is all Blue Beetle.
Ooh, yes.
Right? So they got all the Blue Beetle costumes on there.
That's out already, right? We haven't seen it.
It is out. I haven't had a chance to do nothing.
Yeah.
Once I hopped onto this new movie, that was it. It was game over. I was like,
yeah. You see how far behind I am on movies I can stream at home. Never mind theater movies. Gosh. See, we did get halfway through The Flash. I was telling Ryan this before we started streaming. We tried to watch the Flash movie. We got halfway through it. Yeah. We got to Michael Keaton. That was what was very important to us.
See, but I think Supergirl is the one that makes that movie so good.
Yeah, no, I wanted to cosplay her before I got preggo again.
You still can. You're not gonna be preggo forever.
Yeah.
Not that I know of. I can't say I'm an expert on women's bodies by any stretch of the means.
Listen, that's my personal hell, so I better not be. Yeah, but I meant I wanted to cos for this year, but obviously that didn't happen. I'm not wearing bodysuits for a while.
I give you 2 months, you'll bounce right back. Because again, I'm an expert on women's bodies.
Yes, again.
Please let's not forget this.
So we'll see. But yeah, no, I want to keep seeing it. I want to see her. I'm still a little sad that she is Supergirl because I fully wanted her to just be Superman. I wanted her to be I didn't want her to be Kara. I wanted her to be a femme Cal, which is what I thought she was. And then you find out that she's a grumpy Kara, and I'm I don't know. Okay.
Well, she's kind of like a femme Cal for the universe she's replacing.
Yeah. So
in a way,
so I'm still gonna give it a chance, but I was really hyped about her just being a gender bent Kal-El. So we're still gonna watch it. I'm still going to enjoy her, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, she's absolutely beautiful.
Can't wait.
She's like, my goodness. I want to just quickly before we go, because we are already at that 1 hour.
Hey,
That 1 hour mark. But
time flies.
I want to bring up some of the comments here. This one here from Chad Stewart. Okay, I've been out of the loop of Batman for a long time. Is Tim Drake still in the Batman comics? So he, gosh, how do I even begin to start this? Because he had his
Do you
own
guys have
comic.
another hour to hang around?
Yeah, we have it. Yeah, you bring up Tim Drake. It's whew, it's always a loaded question. And then, well, he became the Robin again for Batman at the beginning of Chip Zdarsky's run. And now he's kind of stepped aside again for Damian, which is all. We're not going to get into the nuances of what happens between that and that, because there's a whole other hullabaloo with Damian at that point. Which I think is another reason why
drama kind of with my baby boy. He would never.
Yeah, right.
Damian Wayne is an angel who's never done anything wrong.
Right. Right. Absolutely. It's toy art. Right. I've always loved Wade's Flash, which is another great shout out, another great run. I absolutely agree. I also, one artist I absolutely miss. He passed away, I believe, in the early 2000s. Iconic artist of the 90s, Mike Rewingo. I know he always had things under Ringo. And he also did The Flash, and it was just absolutely beautiful, beautiful stuff. Derek Hoover. Wade did amazing work on The Flash. I really need to rebuild my Flash Volume 2. Had the whole run. Yeah, dude, go get it. You need that. Monsters from Beyond. This is Ian. Kingdom Come Balance is gritty and hopeful in a lovely way.
Yeah,
no easy task. That is a great way of putting it. Flash 739. Mark Waid's Daredevil run is a lot of fun. I got his autograph years ago on it. I actually had his signature in Braille pressed into the cover. Very cool. That's actually a really cool idea. I actually really like that. Jose Carlos Riviera Jr. Man, I've always loved Mark Waid's stuff. He does these books with multiple icons so well. Yeah, I agree. I love it. Toy art, Zach. I also love Even Dorkin's World's Funnest. It's just a hoot.
I haven't read that.
Well, that's his recommended reading for us.
There you go.
Right. I love it. Derek Hoover listing off characters that are racially insensitive. So we'll just leave that one down there. But thank you for letting us know what to look out for. It's very much appreciated. Right. That's right. Lifelong toy collector. Got to pay the dole toll to get that sketchbook hole. That's correct. I don't know what sketchbook hole means, but I'm just going to go with it. Chad Stewart. Spider-Man 2099 was one of my favorite comic books, and that was Peter David. Is yeah, let's all, if everyone can, I believe Peter David's going through some hard times right now with his health. And again, these studios who are taking all his work should be giving him some money to help him out. So if you have any money that you could spare to help him out, please feel free to donate to Peter David. Hopefully he gets better soon. Right? Hang on. It's Jose. Hell yeah. When did Pete get so boring in his own books? When did he get boring? When they made him divorced and said, hey, we should just make him like the Ultimates comics, but a swinging bachelor. And that's when everyone, even myself, someone who is a forever bachelor, I was very much like, this is not the Peter Parker I want to read. Like, it was just, I don't know. At that point, it just felt gross. It still feels gross. Monsters from Beyond. Remember how they killed Peter in the Ultimate series? Yes, I do. And then Miles came in? Yes, I do. And it was awesome. It was awesome and impactful. Very impactful. I miss that. I miss that too. Kayla saying from Geek the F Out, Lexi is the best. I agree.
Oh, thanks.
She is the absolute best. Yes, wait, Fan Plastics coming on. He doesn't know that yet, but yeah, he's gonna come on.
Surprise!
Yeah, I've asked him last minute before. He was great on having him on last time too, because again, it's always nice to have bounce stuff off of. Last time we kind of just talked about the toys, and last time he was on, it was we were talking about Arlene Sorkin, and we were kind of going through her history, and because it was just like the day, like the couple days after her passing, and we just, I couldn't do that episode alone. It would have been a hot mess. Randall saying, Spider-Man, so sad it makes my heart hurt. The MJ as the character has been destroyed. I miss the fun Spider-Man books. And then, just Mary Jane just got done so dirty, and I just don't understand why.
Well, I think it's always hard with a character too, when either the writer or production or someone higher, whoever it is that decides, I want these two characters to break up. It's frustrating when you have characters that have been written to a very believable and lovely relationship, and then suddenly someone else, like an outside force, decides they need to break up. There's the best writer in the world. It's still going to feel clunky and weird when suddenly that relationship falls apart.
Yeah.
Like it just never feels quite right. It's odd that you have to destroy a character to do it. It's weird. It's always weird. And that's the problem, is it's never like a believable breakup. It's I'm gonna say it. I know what Ryan's gonna say, but way throwing it back to Nightwing and Starfire, getting all the way to the altar, only to not say I do. And I'm still a firm believer that the only reason Nightwing and Babs are together is so they can, one, justify not giving Barbara her own run, and two, to keep Nightwing involved in the Bat family instead of putting him with the Titans more so, where he thrives.
Yeah. I also think there's a gross aspect to that too, because there's a lot of dudes that like to write Starfire hooked up with other dudes.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
They put that poor girl through the ringer.
Yeah, they absolutely
through the entire Bat fam.
They did.
Too. I mean, but also Babs. Babs has been through, I think, even more of the Bat fam than Starfire has. Like, stop sharing romantic partners among the Bat fam. It's weird.
Yeah,
they're all in different generations.
X-Men. Yeah, this isn't X-Men. You can do that in X-Men. You just can't do that here. That's just weird. X-Men is all about that. If you want,
especially when they've been with Bruce. Like, not just the Robins, but the dad too.
Yeah, that's I don't even want to get it. You know what? I'm moving on. Fine. Okay, geek the F out. I love Attack
Starfire, Barbara. It's fine. Here we go.
Zatanna.
All of them.
Right? Okay. Anyway, yes. I love Attack Peter's show. So do we. He's a big friend of the channel, and Gabby is awesome. Gabby is his girlfriend, even though I keep telling everybody they're brother and sister.
Speaking of dating in the family.
Monsters from Beyond. I have noticed this one and Man-Bat. Now we're going on to the Mondo stuff. The cell shading is scaled back and it looks a lot better. I agree. The Man-Bat was beautiful. It's not listed on the site anymore. It was a beautiful San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Kudos to anyone who's able to get that massive giant toy. And Chad Stewart is still waiting for stuff from Mondo. He's waiting for that He-Man. Did you said you collect She-Ra, Princess of Power?
No.
Was I just dreaming that?
Yeah.
I was clearly just dreaming that. Because they did Mondo did a beautiful She-Ra action figure.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well.
I love She-Ra. Don't get me wrong, but it's not one of my gotta collect.
Yeah, it's not a need. Tony Traponi, the deluxe Mondo Harley with Bud and Lou looked so good. That one makes me sad that I missed out on. Yes, right. Again, that's why I think it's best right now. If you're going to get any figure, don't settle on the other Phantasm for, 180. Get the one for 210. Get the Andrea torso. Get that smoke effects. That's what it's all about. Come on. We want get the real stuff.
The Andrea torso is pretty cool. I'm not even going to lie.
It is so cool. The fact that they're like doing a whole they could have just done an interchangeable head.
Yeah.
But they just went for it. They were like, no, let's do this right. Let's make this right. Toy Art saying, note to McFarlane, this is how y'all do cell shading. Yeah, that's exactly how you do it. I don't know if you've seen his other stuff, Lexi. Todd McFarlane's been doing cell shading on his figures, and they look like hot garbage. Monsters from Beyond, Tim Drake. I'm going to go get another beer. Yeah, right? That's how it goes. All right. You know what? thank you, everyone. Look at this. Yellowhorn Toys is here too. Thank you for being here and hanging out. Right? I know you're coming in near the end. Oh, man, everyone's got so much to say. Hang on. Lexi, I'll let you get onto this one because I think this one is directed towards you. This is from Allison Troy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. For how everything Babs in the Killing Joke, especially animated Killing Joke, the Bat team reclaiming Nightwing, and the Randall, your comic kind of falls into this as well. But basically anything that is the Bat office, the Bat team, Bat anything reclaiming Nightwing is the worst thing that ever happens to Nightwing. It always is, because what makes him, like, the whole point of being Nightwing was to go off and, you know, separate himself from Batman. And he should always pop into Bat stories, you know, but claiming him as part of this like consistent Gotham Bat family team member, I think just destroys so much of who Dick fought to be for so many years. And it just infuriates me. I think if you wanted to see him having more relationships and growing as a person, instead of giving him Babs and forcing this relationship that dulls down both of their characters, because again, I love Babs, and I think their relationship does just as much, if not more so, a disservice to her than it does to him. I think you should have given him Damian, and then Tim Drake can be Robin with Bruce. Damian could be Robin or a completely different name, and then he could have been with Dick. And then you can see Dick growing as a person because he has to mature, because he has this kid he's in charge of now, because he has to address his own faults, because he's like a parent figure. And then you get Damian, who gets to grow outside of the shadow of Batman and the Al Ghul's, do his thing. You have a place for Tim as Robin until you're ready to get rid of him. And then you can have this whole cool moment where Tim goes off to do his own thing. Damian graduates from being with Dick to go be Robin with Bruce after he heals, and Bruce is ready to admit he has to be a better dad to his kid. Like, it would have been so perfect. I'm fine.
If DC Editorial is watching, please hire this woman, because this is exactly what I also want.
Let me save the Bat family for you.
Could you please, dear Lord? It's like, not that I'm not hating on this, and I'm not really hating on the new stuff, but you're like, even Nightwing I'm enjoying for what it is, but you're right. Like, there was something very special about Nightwing just doing his own thing, even if he was just.
I like him with the Titans. I love him with the Titans.
Yeah, well, even I keep even going back to like that late 90s, so the mid to late 90s run that he had. Finger Stripes, as we all knew him as back then. Yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed that, because he was kind of like, well, it was a 90s angst thing, so I don't really blame him. Yeah. It was the style. I think it was great,
right? And it also fit what he was going through.
Absolutely. And he was struggling to make a name for himself. So it was nice seeing him get his own villains, having his own community, right? Yep. So he was like, friends. Sure, there was like, it was that potential love interest with his landlord, his landlady, right? So, right. But again, there was like so much of that stuff that was like fun. But he was completely on his own. You rarely saw anything Titans show up. You rarely, like, maybe Tim Drake would stop in, maybe Superman would stop in, but it was
and I love that. I love the pop-ins, because he's still part of the community, but he should be an independent hero in the same way that Green Arrow is, in the same way that Batman is, that Superman is. Like, he's earned it at this point. There's been like 30 Robins since him. Like, not a sidekick anymore, and they keep treating him like he is.
You're right. Jamil Parks, the Bloodhaven, right? I
love him in Bloodhaven.
That's exactly it. I love that too. Al's choice saying, Lexi, you get the Bat family, right? I get the Wonder family, and we'll share Birds of Prey and Titans.
Done. Oh, Allison, I don't think we have time for it tonight, but make it for next week. I want to see your dream Birds of Prey lineup.
Save it for 2 weeks.
I won't know. 3 weeks.
Give her 3 weeks. Maybe we'll get Allison on here.
I don't know when I'll be back. Just text me.
We should we should get Allison on the show at some point anyways. Wamzilla Steaks. Howdy. Thank you for being here. I know you're catching right at the end, but it's all good. Derek Hoover, hot take. Oh no. Have a feeling I am I am alone. I kind of hate Killing Joke. Oh, trust me, you're not alone in this audience. And we ultimately underwhelmed when it finally got a copy of it back in the day. Yeah, Derek Hoover, let me tell you right now, you are not alone on this whatsoever.
You know what Killing Joke did give us, though? It gave us Gail Simone's Batgirl run. Which.
Yep. And it gave us and it gave us Birds of Prey for that too. It gave correct. If you're gonna look on the bright side, there's that. I was about to say, please don't say it's Joker in a Hawaiian shirt, but I guess thank you for doing
and
that.
Oracle. I love Babs as Oracle. Even if you give her legs back, give me back Oracle. Or let Tim Drake become Oracle, honestly.
Yeah, let's break his legs.
Yeah. Break Tim Drake's legs.
Yeah.
People can use a computer and still have legs, right?
Tonight on Gotham City Tonight, Ryan Dole says, kills Peter Parker and break Tim Drake's legs.
Also, these are Ryan's favorite characters.
Yeah, right. I was like, I feel like Dan Slott right now, where it's like, I'm going to kill Spider-Man right now. By the way, he's my favorite character. That's how I feel right now. Right? Like, it's so good. I think that is it. So, folks, we're going to catch up with the chat. Thank you for all the wonderful comments.
Babysitter
Conversation. Yes, go hang out with your babysitter. Thank you, Lexi, for being back. Do you have any final thoughts before we head out?
Keep investing in comics that are good.
Yeah.
To tell them which ones are good.
And test them out.
Stop buying the ones that suck because you hope they're going to get better. You're not learning anything.
I mean, that is actually great advice. If you're reading something for the first time and it's not clicking with you right away, find a new book. And it's okay. And if you've been on a book that's been good for a long time and the creative changes, and it's not hitting with you, don't be afraid to cancel it and try something new.
And if you fall off, it's okay. They're going to reboot everything eventually.
That's it. Exactly. Right now, Dawn of DC.
Dawn of DC. Now's the time. Dawn of DC.
Everyone, we're all going to say it now. Go pick up Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm. And Batman and Robin, if you actually care about Bruce being a good dad for the first time in 15 years of writing.
Yep. Which I do.
Yeah. And it looks like they're actually going to write a good dad Bruce to Damian, which I'm stunned. Well,
he had to grow up at some point. But did he? But anyways, thank you everyone for watching. I will see you next week. I will tell Alex he's going to join me whether he likes it or not. Lexi will be back in 3 weeks. So have a blast at Disney and Anaheim with the family. Well-deserved time off for everybody. And yeah, we will see you then. Have a great night, Gotham.